Like this is the stuff, these little basic things, right? Like we go over these and over these, and this is the stuff. This is how you develop the skills that keep everything else tight, right? If you have a good crisp waist lock, even if you never do the waist lock, like that, the skill of holding that clinch and making a smooth transition, that translates into some of the bigger spots and some of the cooler looking moves, right? That's why we do this. We work through these standing switches, not because you need to know the standing switches. I mean, you do, like you should have a complete knowledge of the wrestling industry if you're gonna, all the moves, all the things, whether you do them or not in your matches. You should have a complete knowledge. But the main reason we work through these is because this is where you build that foundation for keeping things tight, being precise in your movements, right? Your transitions and your step throughs, the footing, the footwork and placement and moving crisply into the next spot. We're taking turns, right? So, and down to everything. So like, if you notice, when I had you, when it was your time to move, I didn't move, right? So like when you break out here, work that out, like I'm not moving till you reach through. Okay. Once you've got the hold, now it's my turn. You can pivot, follow me, but I'm the one moving, selling. Right? So remember, we're taking turns. That's where you build that, because we're not going to come in and train, you might practice a move off the top rope, but we're not going to train that, you know what I mean, over and over and over again. We're not going to come in and train great big high spots where you're doing, brain busters and your finishing moves. We might practice those moves, we might learn how to do those moves, but we're not going to practice them over and over again. This is where we develop that skill to make a cool reversal into your signature spine buster. This is where you develop that skill by being able to precisely, cleanly, crisply reverse the top wrist lock or reverse the waist lock. Like that's where we're learning that. Any other sport, you know what I mean? Like you practice easy and easier, and then you make it a little harder and then you make it a little harder, but it's never, you never practice quite to the level of play, right? Because this is where we keep it tight, you tighten up your skills. If you're training, if you're practicing for basketball, you might shoot the ball 1,000 times, but you're gonna shoot it in practice without, you're not necessarily going to have somebody defending you. You know what I mean? You want to work on that, getting that form right and getting that shot right and building that muscle memory. So when you're out there in the heat of the moment, right? When you're out there and the crowd's screaming and somebody's trying to block you and they're trying to steal the ball, whatever, right? Your body automatically does that because you've practiced it 1,000 times. Boom. That's the same thing here, right? We practice the waist lock. Any of these standing switches, we do this stuff clean and crisp, so that when you're in a match, your body is in the habit of making clean, crisp movements. Does that make sense?